It's a shame. It's a shame that whatever issues he's dealing with at this moment in time have caused him to say the things that he's saying.
Chris Eubank Jr. isn't holding back when it comes to his father, Chris Eubank Sr. In a rare moment of honesty, he's openly expressed embarrassment over his father's recent behavior, stating that he feels ashamed to be associated with him. Despite the growing tension within the Eubank family, Jr. remains fully focused on what matters most, his upcoming fight with Conor Benn.
But again, I've got to stay focused. What my dad is saying about me is not going to change what happens on Saturday night.
Eubank Jr. has made it clear that no outside noise, even from his own father, will distract him. He's warned Chris Sr. to step aside, insisting that the fight with Benn will go ahead regardless of any drama. With a calm but confident demeanor, Eubank Jr. reaffirmed that he's locked in on the task ahead and believes nothing will...
This is what he said on TalkSport, the Simon, that you should be investigated because you gave Conor the piece.
Did he say that?
He said that
Really?
today.
Can you send that to me? He sent that today? Because what I'll do is, I'll sue him. I'll sue him immediately.
...will derail his mission to prove his dominance in the ring. He's certain that victory will be his, once again, demonstrating that his skill set remains elite. Promoter Eddie Hearn also chimed in, and he didn't pull any punches. He tore into Chris Eubank Sr.'s recent remarks, dismissing them as irrelevant and out of touch. Hearn accused Sr. of desperately clinging to the past and seeking attention with outdated rhetoric. According to Hearn, there's no room for nostalgia when it comes to this fight, only focus and results. While Chris Sr. tries to hold on to the spotlight, it's clear that
Eubank Sr. is mentally not stable. How people in the media even allow him in that space is a disgrace. Firstly, the guy is not well. Secondly, the guy really should be here.
But Chris Eubank Jr. is forging his own path, eyes set firmly on victory against Conor Benn. Drop your predictions in the comments and don't forget to like the video. Eddie Hearn has launched a scathing attack on Chris Eubank Sr., questioning not just his recent comments but his place in the sport altogether. Hearn labeled Eubank Sr. as mentally unstable and a disgrace to boxing, wondering how someone so erratic continues to be given a platform in the media.
Tired and he's achieved whatever he's had to achieve, then credit will be given. I know Senior, when he was doing whatever he did as a fighter, he got chastised. People called him everything from a pig to a dog, but he did it his own way. Still ended up being world champion. Still ended up being like one of the UK's biggest names when it comes to boxing.
According to Hearn, there's no place in the modern fight scene for someone who seems so detached from reality. He insists that Eubank Sr.'s continued interference is damaging not only to his son's career, but to the integrity of the sport itself. Former world champion and boxing pundit Johnny Nelson also chimed in, taking aim at the hypocrisy surrounding Eubank Sr.'s behavior. Nelson points out that the very man who carved his name into boxing history by defying convention and doing things his own way is now
really be in the public, and that's something that you say behind closed doors. I'm not sure it's something to discuss in the media.
Is he likely? It doesn't sound like it. Is he likely to change his mind? Does Chris Eubank Jr., your fighter, want him in his corner?
He wants to win the fight. That's all he's focused on. He's now in a point of time where he has to block all the noise.
Now obstructing his son's journey. He sees Eubank Sr.'s controlling attitude not as fatherly guidance, but as a toxic power struggle. If Sr. reached greatness by making bold choices, why deny Jr. the same path to independence and success? Promoter Ben Shalom added fuel to the fire with his own explosive take. He called Eubank Sr.'s actions disgraceful, especially in a time when his son needs support, not sabotage. Shalom didn't hold back, accusing Eubank Sr. of choosing to publicly humiliate Jr. rather than stay
of life. Junior, you're smashing an egg against this guy's face. I taught you that. I didn't teach you that. Who taught you that? Did Karen teach you that? Who taught you that? That's disgraceful. I'm gonna stand in your corner, you must say mad.
And beside him. He warned that this growing divide could mark a permanent rift, with Junior potentially cutting ties with his father once and for all. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Sr. has responded with raw emotion, expressing deep frustration over what he sees as a betrayal by his son. He was particularly outraged by the infamous egg-smashing stunt, labeling it a cheap gimmick that flies in the face of the values he claims to have instilled in Junior. Senior also hinted at outside influences steering his son away from the discipline and legacy he once honored. As tensions escalate, what was meant to be a high-stakes showdown in the ring is now overshadowed by
I don't think it'll be that much of an issue, the weight. But again, listen, I'm not disrespecting Chris Eubank Sr. Let's into the game, and he's going to worry about his son. Do you know what I mean? And rightly so. But I don't think he's in that. But put it this way, I think if he was in that much of a disadvantage, everyone would be picking Eubank, wouldn't he? And I've seen people quite split on it. A lot of people are picking Ben.
Bitter family feud, one that could leave lasting damage far beyond fight night.
Public outbursts,
on the flip side,
that all the
Chris
Eubank
Eubank Sr. has taken a sarcastic jab at the very idea of supporting his son ringside. He's made it brutally clear he wants no part in what he calls
Smith
a
emphasizes
circus.
that Eubank Jr. has shown
But behind the
unwavering
biting sarcasm
with a
lies
singular
something
focus
far
on
more
victory.
personal. His
Meanwhile,
emotional
he praises
outbursts
the intensity
reflect
of
more than
Eubank's
just
camp,
disappointment.
particularly under
They
the
expose a
expert guidance
fractured
of
father-son
Jonathan Banks.
dynamic
In
unraveling
Smith's view,
publicly
the real
in front of the
question
boxing
isn't about the
world.
controversy.
Former
It's about
fighter
Eubank
and analyst
Jr.
Stephen
dismantling
Smith
Conor Benn
didn't
with
mince
ruthless
words when
precision
addressing
and
Chris
demonstrating
Eubank
why he's a
Sr.'s
force to be
behavior.
reckoned with.
He outright dismissed Sir E's recent antics as a pointless distraction. Smith was clear.
But apart from that, his son, should probably not be dropping at this stage to go down to 160. It was meant to be 157 for the original. It's probably why the weight is such a big thing for him on that. But he's also making a bigger point of Conor Benn shouldn't be coming up 2 weights to fight my son. Like he's making a clear point that no one should really be letting this happen, and without offending and upsetting everyone. And I'm working the show, and I'm really looking forward to it.
All the noise surrounding the fight is just that. Noise. The real story should be Eubank Jr.'s preparation, focus, and his relentless drive toward victory. Smith praised Jr.'s intense camp under the sharp direction of trainer Jonathan Banks, emphasizing that the attention should be on Eubank Jr.'s performance, not his father's theatrics. For Smith, the big question isn't about drama. It's about whether Eubank Jr. will dismantle Conor Benn with the precision and brutality he's known for. Sonny Edwards also weighed in, especially on the controversial topic of Eubank Jr.'s weight cut. Edwards bluntly called it a poor decision for Jr. to drop down to 160 pounds at this stage in his career. Originally, the plan was for a 157-pound catchweight, and Edwards believes pushing the limits could backfire. But he didn't stop.
Cannot do that. Just the walk, let alone the fight part. Takes a lot of mental strength. It takes a lot of guts, a lot of heart, mental strength. It's a huge thing in boxing.
It's a big thing in life, even outside of boxing, right? In business and in all, I think, great endeavors. Do you think it's something that you can, from what you've seen in the gym, something you can teach or train?
There, he turned the heat on Conor Benn too, criticizing his move to jump up 2 weight classes to face Eubank. Edwards described the matchup as risky for both fighters, questioning the fairness and logic behind such extreme shifts. Despite his concerns, Edwards admitted that some of Senior's criticisms about the weight situation might not be entirely baseless. Still, he's hyped for the fight, even if he sees tactical flaws on both sides. Then came the bombshell from legendary promoter Frank Warren. He didn't hold back, bluntly calling Chris Eubank Jr. a prick and delivering a savage takedown of his character. Warren criticized Eubank Jr.'s brash and cocky demeanor, especially in public, making it clear that this feud goes far beyond boxing. It's personal. Warren's harsh words have only poured fuel on the already raging fire surrounding the fight. This isn't just about punches and rounds anymore. The venom being traded has turned a professional rivalry into a deeply personal war. Pride, legacy, and reputation are all on the line. Both Eubank and Benn are determined not just to win, but to humiliate the other in the process. So what do you think? Did Frank Warren go too far, or is this just the brutal nature of the fight game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unfiltered takes on the Eubank vs. Benn saga.